Thank you.
You know what?
Don't worry about me.
Shout out to Peter.
We read books to learn the ancient secrets left behind. Manifesting when we smoke, so we check for signs. Explore the language of the universe. Finding knowledge you can't find with a Google search.
I've been something else. But it's very robust.
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 Is that why you sipping slow, sugar?
Yeah. Mind your business.
We're on Gert and Gert. No, I'm just playing.
She run up on the board, y'all. Gert. No regrets. Like that commercial on a Snicker. You need a Snicker? You need a Kit Kat?
You need a moment. Chew it over with Twix. So I can tell that, and I agree with both, right?
Sure.
From you all's perspective, it's like, okay, peace should somewhat be separate from my day-to-day surroundings. I should be at peace almost in spite of what's around me.
Yes.
With that, some people really have a hard time turning that off.
Yeah.
Like, because even for me to get into that mindset, I have to stop and shift. Because I'm someone who just be in the moment as the moments come up. I'm deep in corporate America, far deeper than a dark-skinned chocolate grown woman with dreadlocks, a nose piercing, and tattoos should be in corporate America. And sometimes, like, I'll be like, all right, it's fine, but it really don't be. But I'm not going to, like, I feel like my options at that point are to either bridle my tongue, which God has made me very good at, by the way. And not on the inside, but on the outside, I'm very good at that.
You know, I got something to say about this.
I'm very good at that.
Because I can't
about bridling my tongue.
Yeah.
But facial expressions.
No, the facial expressions, none of us have that.
They
down.
None
of us have that down.
They get what they get. But my silence is a gift, and my ability to not be ugly, I would say, is a gift. But so that's why I'm just trying to express, because, like, even though, you know, we need to separate ourselves from our external surroundings to maintain that inner peace. Them external surroundings, we can't just pretend like they ain't there. So I would say, how do you achieve peace while being realistic as well?
That's a good question.
Not saying that we delulu to maintain inner peace, but just saying, like, you have to have a certain detachment from your immediate surroundings.
Right. Well, here's the thing with peace. It doesn't mean bite your tongue.
Or absence from problems.
Or right. It doesn't mean that at all. For instance, for me, since we talking about corporate America, if I have an issue, I might not say something in that exact moment because it might not be the best for me to say something in the exact moment. But before the day is done, or before I'm done for the day, or I retract for the day, or whatever, I'm going to say something about it. But I'm going to come respectful, I'm going to come with facts, and I'm going to come with sternness. So you know I'm not playing with you. Right? And I do that because if I don't, as I tell, anybody that I talk to, when something happens, right, or something happens to you, whether it's physical or even verbal like that or whatever, everything, energy is transferable. It's not created nor destroyed, right? So when that happens, if you bite your tongue and you never say nothing about it, or you never get it out back to the source or from which it come, it has to be deposited somewhere inside of you. And then you wonder why we have all these ailments, physical ailments. We wonder why we have dis-ease, why your back be hurting, why your head is hurting, your eyes is hurting, your neck is hurting. You all of a sudden then got a liver problem that you ain't never had. You all of a sudden then had a decrease in your kidney function that you never had. A lot of pain and trauma lives in the liver and the kidneys.
You guys, trauma is stored in the body. There's a book called The Body Keeps Score.
Yes.
And this is what I mean.
Read that. You
Yes.
can
Please read
literally
it.
stress yourself
Yes.
into sickness.
Into
Yes.
sickness and death.
What do you think they
Physical
mean
death.
when they say, "Oh, this disease was brought on by environmental factors"?
Yes.
Right.
The environmental factors being that you stress the fuck out.
Stressed
Right.
out. But a lot of times we stress ourselves because why you even is.
And I
listen,
feel
if
like-
it ain't gonna matter in 5 years
Or 5 minutes.
or 5
months.
minutes, why? Let it go.
And
because
I also
it ain't
feel
worth
like
it.
to bring peace doesn't always mean you have to be respectful. Like I'm gonna be honest with you, I have stopped code switching in life, and you get, if this is the emotion you have invoked, this is the emotion you're gonna get, because
And I
Go ahead,
so
give us
need
your
to
Lauren
get
voice.
to that point. I need to get to that point. We're gonna have to talk
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I need to get to
Yeah.
that point for where I don't code switch, because I code switch
she do it well.
a lot, and I'm fucking good at it.
And that was my
Mm-hmm.
life. That was my life for a long time, especially growing up with a mom who is in corporate America. She's heavily into respectability politics.
Yes.
Hey, mama.
Hey, cuz.
I saw her doing that, and I saw how she'll be so then at home
Like a
it was
puppet.
no, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't want to do that.
The nigga came out.
And it was usually
Yeah.
targeted towards
You.
who in the house,
Yeah.
right, even though it wasn't
Which
me.
we talked about.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I didn't want to do that. So I'll give you a perfect example. Recently at work, I had a coworker say that I made them feel uncomfortable. But they didn't tell this to me. They told this to someone else. So, of course, that person tells me, I say, well, who said that? Oh, I don't want to tell you because then it's going to be a problem. It's already
that's
a
a
problem right
problem.
now because
Exactly.
they went to you
To
instead of
you.
me. If I'm
Right.
the one that made you uncomfortable, why would you go to someone else? Then when I found out who it was, oh yeah, best believe I did go up to that person.
They're scared of confrontation.
So what's the issue? How did I make you uncomfortable? This was my face. This was my tone of voice. I didn't make it all high pitched and this and that. How did I make you uncomfortable? State the date. State the time.
Give us the facts.
Give
the
me
receipts.
the facts.
But that's the thing. That's fine. Like from a corporate America, I promise, guys, we gonna bring this all back to inner peace. But
Yes.
we have to know.
Right.
We have to highlight how much sometimes what you do 40 hours a week can heavily impact your
Of course.
peace.
Of
You
course.
spending at least 8 hours of your day.
Sometimes with people
Minimally.
like this,
Yeah.
and I guarantee you that you weren't intimidating or made them uncomfortable. They just couldn't take that level of directness from a black woman.
And that's what it be.
Oh, how about
because they say black women are aggressive.
No, it was a black woman. And how about and how about
Wait a
she was
minute.
uncomfortable with something I did towards someone else? It wasn't even towards her. She was looking at an interaction, so she don't know the inside jokes or the inside.
So in other words, she was in your business.
that part.
That's why she didn't come to you, because
That part.
she knew that she was in your business,
Cheers to that.
which she should not have been in the first place. That's why she didn't bring it to you. And whoever came and brought it to you didn't know that she wasn't supposed to be in your business and that she was in your
There's
business.
nothing
And that's how they
else
get caught
I
in the
hate
crossfire.
more than an Uncle Tom. And you know that energy that she just gave. I'm a huge fan of Django. I know that
Me
me is
too.
silent, but
Yeah.
she's giving heavy
Not
Steven
Django, y'all.
energy. Heavy Steven energy.
Very much so.
Samuel L. Jackson energy in
He
Django.
played the hell out of that part.
Cheers to that.
That's what that energy is giving.
But that's what I mean when I say inner peace. Because, and this is to quote my friend Ayana, I'm not going to be the only
Shout
one
out
with
to
my
you,
nerves getting on. So the fact that you done brought me discomfort, because supposedly I brought you discomfort, I'm gonna bring it right back to you, because no,
'Cause it's not yours to hold.
It's right. Like, and I was mad for like a whole day. A whole
You let her steal a whole day from you?
A whole 24 hours. I was
And when
upset
you
about
think
this.
about it like that, like, oh, I gave this person was in my background, this person was pissing me off, it makes you want to be stingy. Like, oh no, I'm not going to get this shit no energy. But you have to think about it like that.
You have
Yeah.
to. I'm not gonna be the only one my nerves getting on. That's not what's gonna happen.
And that's
so
how
let
I
me put that
operate.
back towards you, and guess what? Peace was always restored in my body.
And guys, you have to also remember that majority of the time, first of all, like the old folks say, misery loves company, right? So when people are doing these things and these antagonizing things and coming to disturb you, it's because they're disturbed. And when an energy is disturbed and it comes into an energy that's not disturbed and it tries to mix, what's going to happen? You know what I'm saying? And so that's why I'm good for saying, I rebuke thee. Oh, no, baby, that's not mine. You can have that back.
Right.
Real quick.
Right.
Because
Gave it right
that
back.
didn't have nothing to do with me.
Right.
I had to do that at work before too.
And sometimes I think like,
And you know what I told him?
What?
I said, the person was so upset. Oh, he was so mad. And I said,
The joy is bringing
is everything okay? and they were like, they said something smart or whatever, and I said, and it was a Friday. Y'all know I don't do too much on a Friday now. And so I really wasn't having it. You ain't about to disrupt my Friday. And it was early. It was like 10 o'clock. Now, you know how I feel about talking to people.
Come on, say that's before your voice.
You already know. So I was like, you know what? I said, well, I'm so sorry to hear that. And I hope your day gets so much better for you and you have a marvelous weekend and you be blessed, beloved. Pissed.
It was the beloved.
Pissed.
The beloved.
Pissed.
Them terms
and I went to my lead.
They just do it every time.
Yeah, and I went to my lead and I said I would no longer like to work with this person because they are very disrespectful and they carried an abusive tone with me. Here's the receipts, and this is not the first time. And moving forward, if I need X, Y, and Z done, please assign to someone else, because if it gets assigned to this person, I'm going to reject it until you assign it to someone else. And I'll work with that person, because I'm no longer going to tolerate that type of mistreatment from that person when I've done it 3 times. And that's me keeping my peace.
okay.
And reclaiming my peace back. Because the first time that it was done, I was like, then the second time I was like, look now. And the third time I said, you know what? This ain't even got nothing to do with me.
Right.
They got something going on in their life, maybe at home, maybe at work too, with someone else. I don't know. And I don't care, because it ain't my business. But it has nothing to do with me. And I'm not going to allow them to disrupt. Right. I'm not going to internalize that. And I'm not going to allow them to disrupt my day, my weekend, my internal work, because I was having a great old day. Good old job. I was enjoying my tea. It was nice and hot. It was just enough sweet. It wasn't too sweet or under sweet. The tea had been steeped for about 15 minutes. You know, I drank about 13 ounces of tea. Oh, I was in it. I was like, this is a wonderful tea. I had my music playing. You know, I like to listen to my jams.
Got your playlist.
Had it going.
Yeah.
You done heard it?
I have. It's a great playlist.
It is.
Your Tamala was playing.
Beautifully curated.
I was, and I'm like, change me, oh Lord, yes. And here they come. I say, you know what?
It changed all right.
It sure did.
Didn't it?
So basically, y'all, don't be scared to cuss a motherfucker out to preserve your peace. It's basically
That
And
part.
I'm
you ain't
gathering.
necessarily got to use a cuss word to cuss them out. You can cuss them out
Cheers
in
to
words that they don't even understand. And that was another reason that they was upset.
But you know what?
But guess what? They were here. And I'm here, right? So that was also an issue.
And that's, you see, good on you, because that's one thing I don't do. The most I'll do, like I said, I'm real good at being quiet and bridling my tongue, but even that is taken. Oh, you ignored me.
Of course.
Yes, baby, for your benefit.
Yes.
For your benefit.
But how is it harming you though?
Right.
And this is why I tell you all the time.
Yeah, I would have felt better
Girl,
if I just
say
cussed
something
the
back to him.
Cuss the
Don't
motherfucker
cuss him out, but say something back and be
Cuss
stern.
him out.
What I say? Go take a deep breath. Go sip you a little something right quick. Come back in an hour and say such and such and such. Whoop blah blah blah. Whoop de whoop de whoop. Because if not, you be thinking about this the next day after that, and I'll be like, come on now.
And can we
Alice.
talk about the cultural aspect of peace just for a second? Because for Black women, it doesn't matter if you speak up. It doesn't matter if you quiet.
It's still an issue.
Always be seen as something's wrong or you're doing something. That's just how they're set out to see
You can't even
us.
have resting bitch face and peace.
And you know
Exactly.
I got it bad.
Me too.
Exactly.
They be like, "Are you serious?" I'm happy. I'm feeling amazing today.
So you might as well just get it off your chest.
But also, since you brought that up, we also experience that within our community.
right.
It ain't just
Right.
other cultures that's doing it to us. It's our own people too.
Right.
Why?
I think that's because we know us, so it's like you ain't making that face for no reason. Why are you doing that? And 9 times out of 10, they do be right. It's like, I don't want to be bothered.
I guess.
You know,
Right.
like, I don't
But it
wanna be
ain't nothing
bothered.
wrong. It's
Right.
I'm chilling.
It's nothing wrong, but I see you coming to distract, and I don't want to be bothered.
Right.
Y'all know what?
You're right.
I have like all this energy sometimes. I be on 100, you know. You know,
She do.
When I be on 100
You a fire
sometimes.
sign?
She is.
Okay,
Big
that's why.
Sag. Big Sag.
Is. And so sometimes like it's this ongoing joke between my mom, my sister, and me, right? Under my baggy clothes, I have very broad shoulders and muscular arms.
Okay.
And it's because
But
I
she look
tell
fine.
them I do push-ups before my one-on-ones with my boss so I don't bitch slap nobody.
Okay.
Somebody could be all the way across the world, but this backhand will reach. You know, so I got to do my 100 push-ups. I do 100 of them.
Yeah.
Every Thursday at 2:25 p.m. because I got a one-on-one at 2:30.
2:30. Yep, she do.
Got to do my push-ups so I don't bitch slap nobody. And I've been
you
doing
exalt
this
that
for
energy.
years.
Uh-huh.
For years. Never underestimate the power of movement, folks.
Right.
You
That's
have
a
to,
great way to get
because
some energy
it
out
moves
off you.
energy. That's just
Right.
kinetics.
Yes.
Oh, for y'all that didn't go to school for science, that's kinetics.
Just get it up off you. Do your push-ups. Do your squats, whatever you got to do. Get rid of the energy. Stop carrying that shit in your shoulders. You can't
And in your
slap them
back.
for in real life. Of course, we know that.
You know where else it sits? Your hips.
Yes.
Especially in women, period. Not even just black women, but women, period. It sits in your hips, and you wonder why your hips be so tight. You know?
Absolutely.
And it always shows when it's time for your menstruation.
Do your push-ups, y'all. Don't be having.
That's why I
Stretch your pelvis.
because I feel so.
Yeah. Stretch your pelvis out. Even when you're just sitting down watching TVs, get on the floor and do the butterfly. Stretch your pelvis out. You know, do a little Pilates or yoga like Cuzzo be doing, and stretch your pelvis out so you can release that trauma. A lot of childhood trauma sits in your pelvis.
Wow.
And people be saying that. People really be saying that, but I don't think people know what that means.
What?
That's why I be telling people I walk like I got a stick up on my ass sometimes because my hips are tight. After I get through with a good stretching session, my whole gait is different for how I be walking.
She be swishing around that house. Like
My
Big
mama got hips for days, but she ain't give me none.
And she got a shelf. You could set, we
But,
could set
you know-
all 3 glasses
you know
on that
what?
shelf.
You
Shout out to
know
you,
what?
Claudette.
Claudette is blessed and highly
Bless,
favored
baby. Bless.
by
She
the
be
Lord.
swinging it. You hear me?
Well.
By the Lord.
Well. All is well.
But you
All
know,
is
I be
well.
walking like I got something stuck up my ass sometimes. It's just like, all right, I gotta relax. I'd be clenched up all the time. You know, just gotta stretch,
You do.
release the tension. Because
You do. Your
the
booty is
body
very
does keep
hard.
the score.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever you think you just swallowing and turning the other cheek and everything like that, the body does keep score.
And is it a coincidence that that's where women store their stress and then we have to deliver through? Maybe. Ooh.
Oh, don't get me on that.
Ooh.
Don't get me on, because listen.
Ooh.
And this is why I say, like, especially to our generation, right? If you are not in a place, and I don't just mean financially,
Right.
if you are not in a place to bear, and I don't mean physically bear, but to bear a child, do not. Because when you have a child, even astrologically, you know, I think I told you about this some months back, right? Wherever your parents are, your daddy too, when they conceived you, is where you start off. Not
Yep.
when you come out the womb. When they conceived you,
Right.
is where you come into this world with.
Right.
And I mean, they even talk about that in the Bible too. Not to be, you know, Bible thumping right now, but they talk about that in the Bible too. Like your children will, I forgot the word they use, but I guess they'll live out the sins of their parent or something like that.
It's no coincidence, though.
It's no coincidence
so.
at all. If you depressed, you out on drugs or whatever, you abusive, or you taking abuse, or you people pleasing, or whatever the case may be, your child coming into the world with those same habits, unfortunately.
I don't think I'll ever be mentally or emotionally in a space to have a child, and that's why I've like sworn off that I'm not gonna do it. Like I don't want. I know that I could be a great mother, but at the expense, there would be nothing left because I would give that child my absolute everything, and I just don't want to do that. But I feel like they deserve the best.
Why do you feel that way?
Because I think growing up, if things had been different, I think I would have come out differently. Not to say better, but differently. And so I refuse to bring a child into the world that I'm not sure I can give them my best to. I may be able to give them my best for 2 years, and then I'd be shitty for a year. They deserve better than that. I don't want to have a child that needs to heal from having me as a mama. That's what I wanted to get to. I don't want that.
You feel the same way?
I just never really grew up wanting.
It's a lot of responsibility.
I just never grew up wanting a
whole
physical responsibility, mental, emotionally, spiritually. It's just given.
And the only reason why I wanted kids was because of the guys I was dealing with at the time. So they'll be like, yeah, I want that, you want that. And I felt like, well, shit, if I gotta be in your life, then I guess I gotta have your child. But now I'm like, oh, you want kids? That's precious.
With today's men.
So would you mind if he already had children?
I do not.
So you'll be a stepmama?
Hello to the men out there.
I would be the best stepmama there is to ever live.
This is my camera. To the men out there watching, please already have kids. Please, and thank you.
Please, I would
prefer them to be about 10 and up. Okay, maybe 7. I'll go 7 and up, cause I know you out the zone of still fucking your baby mama. Hopefully, but
come on, somebody.
Please already have children. Okay, I would be an amazing stepmom.
I have the emotional capacity to be a stepmom.
Yes.
And be an amazing step parent.
Yes.
So what's the difference between a stepmom and a mom?
Okay,
I'm not whooping your child.
But what if y'all get married?
I'm not whooping your child.
This is your child too now.
I'm not putting my hands.
It very well may be my child.
It is my child, but I'm not putting my hands on no one's.
I don't think you should put your hands on your own child like that.
I don't either. I
wouldn't either. I think I would have been better and less fucked up had I not gotten beat as a child. But that's a story for another day.
Yeah. Okay.
But as a
podcast.
We have a podcast on parentless.
As being a stepmom, I get to feel into that child's reserves because I don't have to feel into their basic immediate needs, which may take from my basic immediate needs. Basically, I get to help make sure you're emotionally mature. I get to make sure you know how to communicate what your needs and wants are. I get to make sure that you have a trusting relationship with me, because as step parent, it's not so much that I want to do all these things to earn your love, but I do want to make sure that you see me as a resource and a trust and someone that you can trust and confide in. So it's like I get to feel into your reserves and help shape you be a individual.
Mine.
Exactly.
That's what it's like being an educator.
But I think that's a parent in general.
No, it's different.
It's a lot different.
It's different. When I gotta cater to your every want, not never say every want, but when I'm responsible, 100% responsible for you, versus a step parent. What's the reason they call them the bonus? Now, is it better to have 100 on the test or 110 because you filled out the bonus question?
110.
Okay.
That's a good one.
Okay, so now as a step parent, I get to give you extra. You already feel because you got your mom, your biological mom and dad.
What if they don't have the biological mother anymore? Let's say she passed away.
That's doing too much.
That's still okay.
I'm just saying, you married this man, right?
At that point, I'm not trying to replace your mom.
Well, yeah, you never want to replace them.
But I want to give you.
But a bonus is, this is like having 2 moms or 2 dads.
But at this point,
it's not a replacement. It's just an additional.
But they might not ever hold you as close as they will as their biological mom. So that's a space I can't feel.
But we ain't thinking about that. It's we're not going into it thinking like, oh, they ain't gonna see me like this. No, I'm just showing up and giving what I can give and what I want to give.
I think it also depends on the child on whether they want you to. Like, are you gonna receive me as a primary caretaker? Because you could do your damnedest, you could do your best,
Right.
but they are only going to receive you at the level that they want to. It's basically the ball is in their court, and who's ever gonna turn down bonus points? Who's gonna turn down extra love? And
You'd be surprised.
I can't see a healthy child doing that.
Keyword healthy.
But that's the thing, though. The bonus is gonna be there. I'm willing to.
Bonuses tend to do a lot more for a child than they realize.
And that's what I'm saying.
And it's not them intentionally per se trying to do it. It just happens that way. Mm-hmm. You don't realize like how showing up to that game meant the world to them. Just an example, you know what I'm saying? And it really just took them over the top, you know. But you was just going to the game, just my son, my stepson having a game or whatever. So we going to the game and whatnot. Those are things that they remembered. And let's say they real mom couldn't go or didn't want to go, but the fact that you showed up, because that's what it's about for a child.
Yeah,
it ain't about the monetary stuff. You know what I'm saying? Well, I don't know these children today.
I think for me though, if I'm being honest and selfish, and I know we talking about peace, but I feel like this is a part of peace. I just physically don't want to go through
the child bearing.
Bearing.
That's what I be thinking about.
I don't want to rip my whole pussy, ass, and everything else apart. I've never had a man wait on me hand and foot while I've been sick, so I'm not ripping my whole body apart to bring their seed into the world.
And let me tell you how shallow it started for me. Growing up, I always had big feet, so I remember someone when I was young saying, you know, when you get pregnant, your feet grow. And I looked down at my feet. I said, hell no, they already big. I ain't trying to
get them no bigger.
I ain't trying to give them no reason to go anymore.
I swear 9 be the first size out.
It started with just that shallowness, and then it just grew to all these other things. Your teeth can fall out.
Yeah. You gotta get stitches.
It's just
your nose grow.
Girl, spread all the way across 59.
All of that, and it was just like, I've had so many people tell me, you know, your boobs will get bigger if you have a baby. Girl, if I
get bigger every month around that time,
if I gotta have a baby, again, talking about inner peace, I don't want. Yeah. I don't want to disturb my inner peace.
I understand.
To do that, I just don't.
Because it's not just for the child. Like when you're thinking about bringing a child into the world, and we can tie this all back to inner peace, because people think that having a child is no big deal.
It's a child is that's a life changing.
It's a life changing event.
Hold on now.
Thank you, Mama. Shout out to my mama.
Right. Shout out to you, Mama.
Thank you so much, Claudette, for being willing to be a mom, because God knows I ain't. Pushing a child out, and then you stuck with the motherfucker you had the child with for life, because y'all both have this soul that y'all contributed to bringing into life. That don't end at 18, 25, 55.
It does not. Mm-hmm.
You have brought a being into life that shares half of you and half the other motherfucker you decide to have a kid with. There's no end in that. Make sure, and as we've already said, peace stands alone apart from your external, right? But you need to have enough peace to make sure you're emotionally mature to have a child. That's all we saying.
Right.
Don't be out here having children and you chaotic as fuck inside.
Yeah.
If you got an alcohol, weed
because
addiction,
that child didn't ask for that.
They didn't ask for that.
They didn't ask for that when they came here.
And y'all shouldn't be out here irresponsibly fucking.
Hello.
Learn when you ovulating.
Cheers to
and
that.
learn when you're not.
It's already too many kids in the system.
And side note. Ooh. Go get yourself checked out. Ooh. It's too many folks running around here. Ooh. With God knows what. As matter of fact, who was it? Cuz you sent me that thing that super gonorrhea or something like that going around in China.
There is a super
I just don't understand. It's so many doctors out here. It's still plenty Planned Parenthoods and stuff out here where you can go and get girl, yes.
And it's resistant to vaccines
and antibiotics. So they don't even know how to cure it no more right now. That's how bad it is.
That's a goddamn shame.
Please go get yourself tested routinely, especially if you are active. You need to go at least twice a year. If you active with different people, baby, you need to be in there probably every month. But please, because there's too much stuff going around. You cough on somebody and they catching stuff now. Please, don't cough on me, because that is a means.
You know what? This makes
jail.
me pull back. I'm about to show my age from a raven. That's a raven.
Yes.
You nasty.
You're nasty.
You nasty.
That was one of my favorite shows.
Y'all, so I just want to put out there, because all you background in science, all intelligent women in here, that means some motherfucker walked around with the clap long enough for it to mutate.
Yep.
And wasn't going to the doctor and then started having sex.
Yes.
And spreading this super version that you cooked up.
Yeah. Cooked up, and
Incubated.
you know it's hot in Texas.
Oh.
Incubated.
Well, not that it's happening in Texas, it's actually happening in China, but you know they got
and
that super
then
sun over
you
there.
went around spreading your super clap.
And I feel like that is, in all seriousness, and y'all can call me crazy, but I feel like that is like an attempt of murder, because why are you doing that? And then you don't voice to whoever your partners are, like, hey, I've been itching, I've been burning. You know, if you still down, cool, but if you're not, I understand. Like, you're putting that other person in jeopardy, their life in jeopardy, because what if they got a weak immune system? You know what I'm saying? They immune system ain't concrete like yours, obviously, because you walking around here with this super.
And can I also say, peace is having choice. Okay?
Yes.
Y'all will be surprised what people are willing to put up with
When
and
you give
deal
them the
with.
choice.
But give them the choice to do that. It may be somebody who like you well enough to deal with your gonorrhea.
You know, Kevin Gates said that, not about gonorrhea, but like, he was like, it's no need. He said his auntie or his grandma, one of them told him, like, it's no need to lie to a woman, because you will notice that you'll get more out of a woman just by telling her the truth and what the real is, versus lying to her. And he was like, I've lived by that, and it hit
Peace
every
is
time.
choice, man. I live
Lies
by that.
disrupt my peace for sure. Lies
Amen.
for sure disrupt my peace, because
Cheers to that.
Look, you cheers to everything.
somebody misrepresented themselves to me in hopes to get close to me. And you know, something always in my spirit made me feel like I just couldn't trust this person. But you know, when people are persistent in their lives,
And they weigh you down.
and they weigh you down,
Steve Urkel.
but then it's just like, damn, now that we here, I've been blindsided because I know the truth about your ass now. But we here, and so is my feelings. So are my
Don't
feelings
get me.
and all of my love.
Don't get me started.
You bamboozled me. I'm flabbergasted, like the wife.
You know who this is
Fruitful.
bringing up in my mind, right?
You know who this bringing up in my mind?
And it's just
Oh,
like,
boy,
oh,
from-
you lied. You lied to present yourself somebody to me that I would find acceptable and give love to. And you got the nerve to be over here perpetrating the fraud.
That's why when you
It's
asked me
betrayal,
about, you know who, last night, I was like, girl,
Disrupting my peace.
I didn't call them back either, because
Good.
I didn't
we
feel
talking
like, yeah.
6'9". Okay. Okay.
I just, for
I
me,
haven't
and this
came
goes
up
with
the name
peace.
for him yet. I
Yeah,
got
she
Gina's
will, though.
phone, but I will. I'm just keep sitting on it. I'm gonna come up with a name for
I'm
him.
glad you. Please don't entertain that.
Here's the thing, and this goes with peace, and this is the only reason I'm gonna really talk about this, because I have learned in my previous relationships very strongly what I'm gonna do and what I'm not gonna do, what I'm gonna tolerate and what I'm not gonna tolerate. And one of my hard limits. I'm not gonna tolerate or deal with somebody demeaning me. How I talked about jokes on the other episode. Jokes that ain't really jokes, you know what I'm saying? Especially when you keep saying the
be
same
hating.
thing.
Yeah.
That's really how you feel.
Right. Right.
And to be so disrespected and demeaned, especially in such a short period of time by this person, I'm like, they're completely turned off by you, bro. completely turned off by you because what did you think I was gonna do with it? And why did you think I was gonna be okay the next day? Like, it's something wrong with me because I'm not okay with being talked to like that or handled like that. Oh, you too uppity, you too this, or you too.
And it's always the gaslighting. Like, you're so sensitive. You're right. I am sensitive. So now since you know, don't talk to me that way.
No, it's easier for them to call you sensitive than to take accountability.
Exactly.
Cheers.
And that is
Cheers.
Exactly what I said to them. I'm like, if you tell me, hey, I don't like when you do X, Y, and Z, and I don't care who I'm with, it could be you. It could be you.
I just came up with this buddy's name. I ain't gonna say it on the air though.
Go ahead.
No, ma'am. I say it privately, and you can tell me if it's okay.
I'm gonna bleep it out. Oh, okay, yeah. I actually said that to you last night. Yeah,
that's a good one.
So I told
because he want to be tall, but he ain't shit.
Very much so. But I'm like, if I tell you, hey, if you tell me, hey, I don't like X, Y, and Z, or when you said or you did X, Y, and Z and it made me uncomfortable, or blah, 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 I'm immediately going to apologize for that.
Right.
And I'm going to now move forward, not doing that again.
Right.
Because you just told me what one of your hard limits are. So me telling this person my hard limits repeatedly, had a whole dissertation, and
Not you went to school.
unlike them.
Little convict on the beat.
A whole dissertation, and it's still just. And you know something else that I realize I might have to bleep this. I mean, cut this out too. But
Fix it in post. Don't worry.
Yeah, I'll fix it in post. But like his vernacular, his diction,
Oh, girl.
it only goes yay far.
When you told
So
me
even
about
when
the
I
skeet
say-
and the skirts and the beats
Girl.
and the baby,
Listen,
baby.
when we talked about him on one episode, we referenced
That
him
was like 2
without
episodes ago.
referenced him.
Sound like the Migos background.
I said
Yeah.
I'm unimpressed with his intellect, and
I
that's
am
the
too.
nicest way I could call somebody unintelligent.
I was very unimpressed
that I
too.
could.
And you know,
I like you a
and,
lot.
like
That's the nicest way I could
like
put it.
IP is very important to me, and so the fact that it's not there and you think that you know everything and you high and mighty, major turn off.
How you know everything?
But
and
that
you
started at
stupid?
home. That started at home, though. Somebody at home has made him feel.
I think because no one has ever really corrected him.
I don't think anyone has inflated his ego. I
Right.
think he inflated his
Other than them
own
girls
ego.
that he dealt with before.
No, I think
I don't even
he
think
had
they
to
did.
deal with so much like that he's not willing to talk about. Like Lil Convict
Definitely.
said, "Oh, my mama cuss me out every day." He must be used to that. That don't make it
And
right.
that makes and that
Yeah, and we
internalizes
talked about
for him
that.
as love.
And we
he
talked
has-
You
about
love
that.
me if
That is what he told me. He said, "Oh, you don't really f with me because
yeah, you can say it.
And I was like, huh? And I said, I'm not that type of person. I done been in that environment of coming up in domestic violent, situations. That is not love. I seen that from a little girl. Baby, that's not love. That don't mean that I like you.
Me being cussed out, I never thought that someone cussed me out, loved me,
or yelling at me.
or yelling at me,
yeah.
raising your
What are you-
voice, taking
Hello?
tones.
Your tone changed, and I'd be like, what's going on?
Why you talking
You
to
all
me
right?
like that?
Yeah.
Remember, I'm sensitive.
I wouldn't even say sensitive. It's just being. I think when you're more in tune with yourself and more in tune with your emotions and your body, those types of things
That's
matter.
the definition of sensitive, girl. That's sensitive. Being in tune.
Sensitive. That's the definition.
That's the definition.
Now I'm gonna look it up.
You just gave it out.
Now I'm
Being
gonna
in
look it up.
tune emotionally.
Not me being a dictionary.
So what's wrong with these unsensitive motherfuckers? They just
I
not
don't
into
think nothing's wrong with being sensitive. I've been told that my whole life, And at first I'd be like, no, I'm not. I'm hard.
I mean, you are a Cancer.
Well, but the thing is, I am hard when I need to be. Let's be clear on that.
Yeah.
Cheers to that. Okay. But I don't think it's anything wrong with me being sensitive and being in tune emotionally with myself.
That is the
and
definition.
Outside. I know. That's why I'm looking at you like,
dang.
The definition of sensitivity.
Just for y'all out there that's listening, the definition of sensitive: quick to detect or respond to slight changes, signals, or influences. The other definition is of a person or a person's behavior having or displaying a quick and delicate appreciation of others.
Yeah, I don't think it's nothing wrong with being sensitive.
And they should add in self.
And self.
Of others.
I'm sure you could put that request in.
Part.
You know they constantly updating the dictionary. They make new words every day, so there's that.
And I think being vulnerable like that adds to your peace, because you're not always trying to wear a mask.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're not always trying to present yourself as something you're not. Like you said, someone can present themselves as this way, then you get in and it's like, well, damn, you is nothing like the person
what
you present yourself to be.
And that goes
fraud.
back to that representative that I was talking about. Did you watch the last episode?
Girl, not yet. Don't call me out like that. First of all, y'all,
Anyway.
she needs me 2 hour Marco Polos. I gotta get through the Marco Polos first.
Oh, the voice memos?
Yes.
I get that
I like
too.
it though, but
Me
I mean,
too.
you know, I gotta get
But
through
I need Apple to get it together, because it's like I gotta keep touching the screen
Please
so that it don't lock.
This. Uh-huh.
You know, like, so then after the screen lock, I gotta scroll back and try to
Yeah.
find out where I was in the voice memo.
And you know what I
That's
realized
true.
what it is about her?
What?
It's not so much of the length of time, it's all the other stuff she's doing that adds to
Ma'am.
the length
Lyric
of
don't
time.
mind sending you a 17-minute and 34-second voice memo.
But it's other stuff going on.
This girl, because she have her AirPods
That's your
in.
piece. That's your piece, though. I love it. You see how I keep tying that back to peace? That's your piece, though. I
What you
love
mean?
it.
Because I
Because
feel
one thing
like
she gonna do, she gonna go in that refrigerator. She gonna get out some food. She gonna warm it up. It's gonna get too hot. Then her battery gonna need to charge.
I didn't heard her at the microwave, cooking,
Washing
typing.
dishes. Typing. Talking to them
getting
emails.
some clothes out the dryer. So
not
she
talking
can
to emails.
you know, like
I
she
mean,
gotta take a
multitask.
second.
And
You,
this my
you
favorite.
hear the pause.
And this is my favorite. You hear them chords shuffling. So I said, God damn. Here we go.
She be saying one thing. She be saying one thing cuz gonna do is pull out the iPad and read a chart. She
and
gonna
will
eat.
do you know
her
your
piece.
chart?
That's our piece, though. It's okay. We
Did
love
you look
it.
up their number?
We love it.
What's their life path?
We love
Because all these occult sciences, they really can be used together. Even Eastern astrology, which is Chinese astrology. You know
Okay.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All of it matters and it all be hitting. That's why when people be like, oh, that's the devil, and I'll be like, how funny, I just read you down. Okay, though. But all right.
And I've learned
But
to
they
leave people alone
come
like
back.
that.
They sneak come back though. As a reader, they sneak come back. They don't do it publicly, but they'll do it privately and be like, "You think you can do me a little reading, you know?" But she was the main one hollering about it was this and this and that. But you really be, you know.
I had a therapist explain to me how she rationalized astrology with religion, and I really appreciated that, because it's not like, oh, if I think astrology holds some power, that means I'm a Satanist, the
Right.
way people in the church
Right.
try to make it seem.
Right.
But she was like, I believe, God put the crystals and everything down here as a resource.
It's in the Bible.
And it's just, and she's like, okay, we live on a rock. Why would
Literally.
rocks not have significance?
Right.
Why would God not give us some things here on earth to
I love
comfort
your
us and
therapist.
help channel that? Because she's deep in the church, and she
Yeah.
said that, and but just to show, like, having religious peace is a part of peace as well, because I
Right.
remember at the beginning of the episode you said the presence of peace is the absence of confusion. Religion is something that I have been confused on for many years.
I would change the word religion to spirituality.
Yes, because it's about
There's a
having a
difference.
relationship.
It is.
Yeah.
It is about having a relationship, but so many people, I think, especially ones who want answers, want to know, okay, this is the right way to live by
Right.
my creator. This is what I'm supposed to do. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. They want that concrete. So they'll never really be at
Never.
peace unless they have those answers.
Never.
And that's
But-
why they go crazy.
But you'll never know everything.
And when I moved to Kuwait, that was the first thing I was often told. But you're a Christian. Okay. What does that mean? Please enlighten me. What does that mean? Because if you read the Bible like you say you do, Jesus was born in the Middle East, right?
Yep.
So again, what are you telling me? And it was actually through living over there and being on such holy
Ground.
such holy land, it made me so much more intact spiritually. And I was just like, why is this happening? Like when you go to places like Egypt and you go to like Jordan and you go, like when you see these things for yourself and you're like, God is amazing. To go from the mountains to the valleys, you didn't walk through the desert. God walked through the desert. You split the Red Sea. You're in the Red Sea. You baptized in
When
the
you
river
see
of
God's
Jordan.
art, yeah.
You see God's art in just everything. I appreciate so much.
How did you
so
feel
much
when
more
you went to those
spiritually.
places? Like,
Man,
name a
I
couple of
cried.
places you went to.
The true fact about me, whenever I travel somewhere, I cry because I'm just in awe that one, this is my life, and then two, that this is what God had. Like God, you did all of.
You did this.
You did.
You did
all
your
of-
big
You
one.
gave me this
Yeah.
opportunity to experience this.
You know?
You wanted me to see and experience this in
Right.
real life.
And then when you meet the people, it's really not much of a difference between Muslim culture, Christian culture.
It's not.
It's not
Hindi
religion,
culture.
and to hit on that right quick, religion, and then you go back. Religion is really man-made. It's a man-made construct
Absolutely.
for control, and this is
Absolutely.
why I'm big on spirituality, not religion.
Absolutely.
You know, we came up in the church real
Right.
deep, heavy.
Right.
Southern
Right.
Baptist, you
Very,
did not
very
even
much.
tap your goddamn foot. No
Listen,
dancing.
Hello. So
For the
you
longest
know-
times, I convicted myself for just little things like liking certain music, and this
Same.
was things I did to myself.
Yeah,
You
but
know
that's
what
how
I mean?
that's how we were raised and what
Yeah.
we saw and what
Yeah.
they would tell us. Like, imagine living my life the way I do right now, child. I probably should be burned at the stakes, huh?
Right.
So, and that's why I'm big on spirituality. And spirituality is your relationship with the higher power, higher
Right.
source. Whereas religion is you gotta construct to this, you gotta construct to that. You can't wear this, you can't wear that. You gotta look like this, you gotta look like that.
Can cause a lot of people to not have peace.
And they don't.
And, for
And
the
they don't
longest, that was
realize.
me.
And that's why I
That was
wanted
me
to
for the
Don't
bring that up.
realize sometimes religion is what causes people to not have peace because you're like, I have to do it correctly.
Yeah.
And it's admirable
And it's
that you want to
strange.
commit
It's
to
strange.
something. It's admirable that you want to, but you have to realize that this religion was not created by God.
False gods. They're committed to false gods because they're idol.
I ain't got no more.
It's a little bit more left in the bottle. They're idolizing those that they're going and standing before, or sitting before, not worshiping or giving thanks to God themselves. You know what I'm saying? And that's why, like, I might not
And just
physically
like
go to the
history,
church every day. I mean,
Everything is
every
written by
week.
me. So
Yeah.
you count out big populations here,
And it's a whole part of the Bible that's been taken out.
exactly
Called
Let's
the
talk about it.
Apocrypha.
The
17
Apocrypha,
books.
yeah.
It's called the Apocrypha.
And it's
a
real
thin,
juicy.
thin
That's-
book that you can pick up at your
Listen, and
nearest
that's-
Barnes and Nobles.
Yes, and that's where all the tea is if you really want to be
You love our smoke sessions. We talking oppression, good vibes and woke questions.